What the heck is that? Totem skeleton. It's a skeleton on a skeleton on a skeleton on a skeleton. Weird. Greetings, Minecrafters, and welcome to episode 20, yes 20, of the Primus Unabridged series. Today we're going to take a little bit of break from space. We might get up into space. I got plans for that. But first, I've got to work on my power. So, let's get started. Now, for the power, we're going to do a number of different things. We're going to change how we're producing power, and we're going to have a way to store it. So, let's go down to the reactor here. Here it is, the big reactor. If you don't remember, I've got a 3x3 grid of cores. Everywhere the glass is, in all four directions, is... Oh, excuse me. Cryotheum, and that's why I have the glass there, is to prevent snow from forming. We'll be putting something there in a little bit. I did add on a 4-piece vibrant capacitor bank to hold 100 million RF. And I think I seem to have a steady usage somewhere above 16 million RF per tick for just various things. That can't be right. Million RF per tick? No. Maybe that's telling you how much is stored. No, I'm not sure what this. I can only put out 100,000 or 100 million. I don't know. I haven't played with some of these displays. I just sort of decided to make them and pop them on there. This one I've used before. This one's telling me I'm not using too much, or at least not going through that one cable, and that cable is not hooked up to the Tesseract. But I've got the other reactor going on, and it's hooked up to the same send channel, so it's providing power to everything as well. But yeah, I got plenty of Yellorium still, and I mean, I've used 34,000 Yellorium, and it still has just barely made a dent. So I've got plenty of power space stored up. But I've got a project chest here, so let's get started with that. We're going to be using a compact machine. Actually, I want to leave these in here for the moment. We'll come back to those. I'm going to put the compact machine down over here. Now, this is a top-tier compact machine, which, if I get... No, come on. Give me the recipe. There we go. 8 nether stars is what it costs to make it. And then you can see there's this gray outline, this light gray outline, one block in. 1 pixel in. That is because I hit it with a 9th nether star so that it holds its contents when I break it and pick it up. Because I still have something in there, and that is another project chest for what we're going to be doing next. And we're going to start with a turbine. So, I can't use that. I want to get my builder's wand out. Here's my chest. I got lots of bits and bobs. So let's get started with that. We're going to lay out a floor that is 11 across and 11 wide. There we go. 11 by 11 floor. And because we don't need glass on the back walls, I'm going to go ahead and use just the regular turbine housing blocks. And this is going to go up to within 2 blocks of the ceiling, like that, which is also 11. Whoop. There we go. Square. For the top, also going to be solid blocks. There we go. And that guy in the corner. Okay. And then the column going up this front corner here. Oops. Can't use the glass here. Nope. That I'm going to put... Sorry, I'm tired. I was shoveling snow. We had the big snowstorm Jonas a couple days before this filming. And I tired myself out. That's not in the right spot. Tired myself out digging the car out. Alright. Now let's go ahead, before we put in the glass, let's put in the rotors. So we've got 80 blades. And I'm going to, like I said, since I put this at the bottom, I'm going to have the blades at the bottom and the coils at the top, because it's fun to have the blades spinning right in your face. So I made Ludicrite, because it's the best. Sure, these things take an ender star each, and I have half a stack of them, but I'm willing to do the work to get the best. And unfortunately, since there's no easy way to automate getting wither skulls up, come on. It is a bit of work. Alright. Oh yeah, I've got 2 extra turbines. Or turbine shafts. I think I can use the wand here. Yeah. And one more. Whoops. Not the right spot. There we go. 5 stacks of the blades. That gives me 80 blades. Alright, now we can put on the glass. And I'm going to poke a hole here. No, there. And there. And there, and there. And now I can seal the rest of it up. This should give us about as good a turbine as you can make. Alright. See, I'm just going to toss these 2 extra turbine blades back in the system because I do not need them. Don't need that anymore. So let's get the rest of this. So we have our turbine controller. This will be our power port. Here we will have input and output, and there the turbine just formed up with the texture change. And this one will be the output. Alright, now I've got 3 tesseracts. Which one is which? Alright, this one is energy send. So this is where the energy is going to come out, so I'm going to stick that there. Yep. Now these 2, I don't know which is which. I'm just going to put, that's the output. Did I get it right? Water, yes, good. And this one is the steam input, and it's non-steam. So that's 2 different channels. These are both set to both in and out, but it doesn't really matter. So I think this guy is done. We're just going to leave him be for the moment. And this is empty, so we can go ahead and pick it up. Alright, out we go. Time to convert over the reactor to provide steam instead of power. Because it can provide a lot of power pretty quick. Stable. There we go. But, oh, there, it just turned on. You can see, you know, it's making thousands of RF per tick, and it shut off before we could see how high it gets. But we're going to do a lot better than that. because we can make more of these turbines. I mean, we just have one now, but I could duplicate that. I'll need to have a lot more ender stars. It'll take a little bit of a while, but we could do it. And then this one reactor can power like 30, maybe 40, 50. I'm not sure how many. All right, let's grab these items. I want to change some of my tools. I don't need that or that, but I do need my chalice. Where is my... Oh, I already have the chalice out. Good, good. And I don't need the strongbox. So let's see. We're going to need that. So we're going to do this over here. And... see... Yeah. All right. Glass there, there, there. Oh, not that. That, 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 and that. And put one down there. I don't know why that one's missing. And I've got one extra. Well, I don't need it right now. Oh, yeah, no, I do need it. Yes, I know what that's for. All right, now which of these is which? 70... I think that's steam. Alright, so we've got the reactor coolant ports. When we add these, this reactor will no longer produce RF. So I've been waiting till I'm really ready to do that. Let's go ahead and slap them down. I do need my wrench one more time. Because this one is output. Yes, that's where the steam comes out. So let's see if I get them right again. Oh, this happens to me sometimes working with the big reactors. I get the internal server error. Don't know why it happens. Usually because I've got some extra reactor blocks in my hand, and it doesn't like reactor blocks being stuck to the outside of the reactor. It causes the client to get knocked offline. But I had a Tesseract in my hand, so... Oh, serious storm here. Now, that's the water one, so I got the wrong one. So let's put the right one in my inventory. Break that one. Put down the right one. And, yeah, I got the invisible. So I'm going to put the water here. So that's the water. The steam comes out of the reactor into this one, which goes into the turbine. It gets turned back into water, and it comes out here. So that's good. Oh, that's annoying. Let's find my sleeping bag. Will it let me sleep here? Yes. I can sleep on top of the reactor. Okay. Oh, we're still at 50%. That tells you how few people have been online that they haven't complained. Wells Night. No, Mystic Beta is on right now. Alright, so... I'll just put a piece of glass there for a moment and stick a liquid transfer node on it. And then take the glass away. Into the glass, I'm going to stick right here so that it doesn't connect to the Tesseract. And then I'm going to take my Emperor's Chalice and put in some water source blocks. And last, tuck in World Interaction Upgrades. So this is going to suck in water really, really fast and shove it into the reactor. That's going to make steam, which is going to go out this Tesseract through the turbine, and then the water is going to come back from this Tesseract and into the machine. So this is more just to top it off. It probably doesn't need a whole stack of these, but I've got them, so why not? Toss those away. Put away some of the tools. Alright, so it's on. It still has some power in it left in its buffer, but it's going down. Oh, it's getting a little bit too hot there. Yeah, I should have made sure it was off. Oh, this thing, yeah. It probably turned it on when the power got low, which is what it's supposed to do. We don't need it to do that now. So that's off. See, our power's going down, but we got a nice buffer here while I do this. Plus the other reactor can take up a little bit of the slack, even though it's a tiny little thing. We should be getting steam over here now? We do, so we can turn it on. And seeing these both halfway filled and this one flickering up, that's a good sign. That means that we're producing enough steam from the reactor. In fact, we're probably producing way too much steam, and I'll show you why in a moment. So we'll let this go, and I'll leave the coils engaged because I don't want to disengage them and walk away. Bad things, I think, will happen if you do that. Or at least that was the way it was supposed to be. I'm not sure what it is currently, its current state. All right, so we've got the water. Oh, yes, these guys. As it is right now, it's going to run really hot when you turn it on. It's going to produce lots of steam, but it's going to run really hot. In fact, right now, it's making 2,000 millibuckets of steam, and it's off. That's how hot it got. But we don't want it to get that hot when it's running. So we're going to turn these rods up, and we're going to take them up to 94. I think 95 is okay, but we'll take it up to 94 because that's good enough. And as you can see on the tooltip, clicking goes up by 10, and then Shift-Alt or Shift-Option if you're on a Mac like I am gets you the single steps. You can set them all at once using something like ComputerCraft, but the only thing we've got like ComputerCraft is Open Computer, and I'm not going to go through all that just for this. I will do it by hand once, since I know what to set it to. Alright. So now it's still going to be cooling off, but we can turn it on. I think it'll actually cool off faster that way. Interestingly enough. Does it? No, it's about the same. So as it comes down, it'll soon be dropping from there, and it'll stabilize somewhere, and it should stabilize just hot enough, probably way down here, to still be producing 2,000 millibuckets per tick of steam. That's how much is going out of the machine, because that's how much the turbine is using. It can produce a lot more than that and satisfy multiple turbines. Let's go back and look at the turbine. Seems to be spinning nicely. Now we can disengage the coil and it'll start speeding up much faster. And we want it about up here. We want it at 1,781.4, if I can remember correctly. Wow, it's amazing I can remember that number. It's been a few months since I made a turbine. But it's going to take it a little while to go up there, so I'm going to cut and we'll be back when it's there. Alright, we're getting close to the target number, so I'm going to get ready to engage the coils again. Again, 1781. Oh, pretty close. I'll let it creep the last little bit up in the last one rotation a minute. So we're up here in the you can get some power in the green area, but you want to be up here for this. We're making 22,000 RF per tick. Now for some reason it used to be 28, so there must be something different with the settings in this pack. Or maybe the mods changed it slightly, but we're only getting 22,000. Still, we can get 22,000 for each turbine we add, and I can add a bunch offline now that you've seen one. So the steam's coming in here. Steam. Water coming out there. You can also set the water to just dump, but here it's venting overflow. And the power is going out here. So we've got a good turbine started, and the reactor looks like it's stable. Now with this setup, it's going to always be running, so the temperature is still going down. Eventually it'll get down to a stable point, and it won't go down any farther from that. That was interesting. I had a little bit of a pause there. I may be running out of some room to delete some older episode files. But it shouldn't drop below 2,000. If it does, the turbine will slow down and won't produce as much power. But with these rods set to 94, that should be enough heat to keep it at 2,000. When we add another turbine, we will retract these a little bit farther. I'm not sure what the number is off the top of my head, but just keep retracting them for each turbine added, and we're good. So now we need somewhere to put all the power. So let me get over to that, and I'll be right back. All right, next step, storage. For that, we're going to use Zeta Industries. Z-E-T-T-A, there we go. Zeta Industries. And one of the things you need is sulfurous acid. So we're going to make some of that. We're going to need some blocks of sulfur. I don't think I had the parts for that, but let's go ahead and make some. It is a sort of armor shape of sulfur. And there we have 8 blocks of sulfur with the gunpowder. All right. Here's what I'm going to use to make a system to help automate the production of this. And in the process, I'll show you how it actually works. First, I'm going to lay down some redstone conduit in this channel I've already dug. There we go. Oh. And on top of that, I'm going to put some sticky pistons. I was just having fun with this design. I'm not going to say it is the best design, but it was fun for me. And I'm just going to put down some blocks like that. Now the redstone ended over here, so if I flip this, it goes up and down. All right. I'm going to need my chalice out again, because I need a little bit of water. Not that. This. Yes. And we're going to go ahead and fill up the back. So what does this do? How do I have an extra piece of... Get an extra piece. Well, what this does is I flip this lever, the water flows through, and it fills in this section here. Now we can empty this out and then flip the switch and it'll refill it again. So that is what the purpose of that is for. There's lots of different ways it could have done that, but that one was, you know, all vanilla, fairly simple, easy to use. All right, next. I need one piece of fluid conduit, a fluid trash can, which is a regular trash can from Extra Utilities with a bucket. You can get rid of fluids that way. I've already made some sulfurous acid, and it's here in this drum. You can see it's almost full. And I've got a electric pump. Now you see it just sucked up some water. It has got some residual power left in it, which is slowly going down. That's why I have the trash can. If it gets some water, it'll shove the water in the trash can. But I want to make sure it only gets water in that side. I should have some sulfurous acid. No, I don't. I thought I did. So I'll get a bucket and get some out of here. So into this side, I'm going to say only water goes in there. And it's insert. So only water goes in there. And over here, it's an insert, and only sulfurous acid goes in there. And this is an extract always. That shouldn't matter, but that works. Now to keep this from pumping the water, I'm going to stick a lever on top and turn it off like that, because it's set to only run with no redstone. And now, because it's going to need more power eventually, I'm just going to stick some block of power next to it. And I think I need to rotate it. I do. Like that. And again, needs the lever. Alright, so now that's getting power. It's full up. Yep. So how do we get the sulfurous acid? Alright, let's put away these 2 buckets. I don't need them. And I'm not sure why I've got the extra conduit. What you need is the blocks of sulfur and some flint and steel. You put the block of sulfur in the middle of a pool of water. So it's surrounded by 8 blocks of water. Ignite it. After a moment, the fire will go out, the block of sulfur will disappear, and all these 8 blocks of water will be sulfurous acid. They'll flow into the middle, but there's no source block in the middle, so it's just 8 buckets worth here. So now I flip the lever, it gets pumped up, and hopefully added to that drum, and it is. And when it's done pumping it all up, turn that off, flip this lever for a second, and we've got more water, and we can light it up again. This way you can get a large amount of sulfurous acid very quickly. Well, as quickly as it takes to burn the sulfur, which isn't a quick process, unfortunately. This could probably be automated with just some timers. I think the sulfurous acid is maybe slightly random as to when it triggers, but there should be a maximum time that'll always trigger within. And the pumping action should take the same amount of time every time. And this definitely only needs a second or so. But yeah. Oh, that was fast. Yeah. That was instant. Never seen it go instant like that before. So it is random, I guess. But that should be enough, more than enough, for our purposes. So I'm going to put the rest of that away. Actually, I think that's the flint and steel for my tool bag, so I'm going to toss it back in there, even though it's getting a bit worn. And I'm going to take this. Oh, that's why I had the extra. There we go. I'm going to need that. And it's time to build the battery using this fluid. And I'm going to do it over here. And I've dug all the way down to bedrock. And it's going to be pretty tall. But I'm not going to take it all the way from bedrock. I guess I'll get everything here. Because I want to be able to get under it if I need to, for some reason. I don't know why I would need to, but I want to leave a walkable gap at the bottom. Nope. So I'll do it like this. And down in this hole, my night vision environmental controller doesn't work. So you can see it's starting to blink. I have to come up above ground level before it clears again. Whoop. I am frozen. There we go. So I'm going to make a lot of these battery walls, which their recipe uses a tesseract frame, so enderium, and electrum, and obsidian, and these compressed sawdust. And you get 16, so you get a good number of them. And it's about to go dark on me again. Let the night vision reactivate. There we go. Otherwise, it's pitch dark down here. Whoop. And this one we can just do like that. Hopefully it filled in all the way to the bottom. And now I'm going to continue it upwards. But I'm going to add some glass, which I've got here. This is a lot more expensive to make because you don't get as many. It still takes a tesseract frame, and then you have to make these illuminator frames, which are not, they're not cheap. Let's see what recipe. Yeah, you need the signalium, which is annoying, and then the fuse quartz, which takes a while to make. And you only get 4, so, be decorative if you want to be, but remember that it's going to take a lot more materials. Let's see, how high? I think that's how high. Yeah, I'm making a big battery. Figured, hey, why not? I got the resources. Let's have some fun and do it big. Okay. We'll soon see if I made it the right size. Yes. Or did I? Oh yeah, there's 2 more, because that and that will be the anodes. So there and there. because that's how many of the glass that I made. Actually, that spot will be open. Glass. Seal that up. And over here. Okay. Other pieces. We have a controller that goes in the front. Now we have the battery electrodes, which are in 2 stacks directly under the terminals up here on top. Oh. Gotta get lined up with the hole. There we go. And now for a stack here. And then all the space in between will be filled with a sulfurous acid. Alright, and then the terminals there, and I'm going to need... No, I don't need my wrench for this. You crouch, right-click to turn 1 to negative. And we're going to have the reboot in 15 minutes. Let's see if we can get this started. I've got a floodgate. Put that there. I've got my barrel of sulfurous acid and a conduit. Set this to extract all the time, and this to insert. And if we pop down here, we can see that the sulfurous acid is now flowing down into the chamber. When it reaches the top, the multi-block should form, the textures will change, and we will have our massive battery. Project chest is empty. Put things away. Wait, I've got an... Oh, that battery is... That battery wall piece is for the top where the hole right now. And this is a tesseract that I'm going to put on the positive side. So that's what fills the battery. And that is receiving energy. Good. And they're going to have an output on this side. So that's going to take it a little bit to fill. And if I got everything right, this should be able to hold 34 giga RF? Yeah, I think so. 34 billion RF? Possibly? I don't remember exactly how this is going to come out. We'll find out. How's my fishing thing doing? I emptied it out earlier. Trash can for that. Anything else I need to check on? Oh yeah, these guys. This thing is probably completely full. No, it's not. I keep thinking it's going to be completely full. Is only one working? Oh, that's weird. They've gotten jammed. What's going on here? That's why it's only one of them's producing anything. I mean, there's plenty of cobblestone in the system, but that one's confused by the look of it. Alright, something happened with all the pistons. Obviously. Some of the pistons are missing. What has happened here? Oh, and I've got another freeze. It's a long freeze, but it's not crash. Yeah, look, pistons are all missing. Weird. Alright, well, they're all on break, I guess, except for the one. That guy's going to get cookies. He gets a bonus. He's hard at work. Alright, well, we've reached the ground floor. Let's just do a little bit of a fast forward to get this thing completely filled. Okay, looks like it's full. So let's make the last change. Take that out, put this block in. There it is. Textures have changed to indicate the multi-block is formed. And now let's take a look. 31 giga RF. Whew. That holds a lot. And did I get these backwards? I might have gotten them backwards. Let's switch this over there. Nope, still not filling. Oh, that's right. These things need to be adjusted. There. The height of the column determines what the upper limit on transfer is. And we're at 160,000 RF per tick because these things are so long. But now it should be charging up. There it goes. It's going to take it a while. So right when it hits 3 here, that's 3 in this digit. So yeah, it's it holds a lot. I could probably have this thing shut down for days and this thing would still be able to run everything. Other than that, I mean, I'm making as much as I need. And usually I tend to prefer to not have a battery in the circuit. In fact, I may take it out once it's full and just leave this thing directly connected to all my systems. That way, if I start drawing too much power, I'll know because I'm not getting enough power. Whereas if I'm not making enough power, this thing will be going down, and unless I come over and check it, I won't know that I'm not making enough power. But there we go. Turbine, conversion over to active cooling on the big reactor, and a giant battery. Which I can probably make more if I wanted more, but that's probably good enough for now. I mean, it doesn't hold a candle to the system I had. I don't think it does. I don't remember the relative numbers, but the system I had on the last server I played, the Daybreaker, where I did Mechanism's massive battery, which was a lot more difficult to make than this was. But I think it held a lot more. It held trillions of RF. This only holds billions of RF. Still, it's close. I mean, it would be a whole lot cheaper to get this up to the, what, 10 trillion I had. I mean, this is only... Well, no, I guess it would take a whole lot of these, or a really, really big one, in order to make that much storage. But it'd probably still be easier than making the... look at that. Curve down. Because there's nothing in the battery. Why is there nothing in the battery? Oh, yeah, because we're not outputting from the reactor anymore. So this thing is not used at all anymore. Oh, but I do want to take this. Actually, let's take the whole thing and run it down to on top here. Might as well. Where's the last one? There it is, stuck on my cursor. So if we look at the configuration, that is input. And these are all output of one sort or another. We'll stick a tesseract on over, oh, come on, there. And see if I put that there, and the graphical thing there. Will it register? Cut this down to 1 minute. Oh wait, that's fluid. I need power. In here. Power conduit. And this tesseract is set to send. Yes. And this is filling up? No, it is not filling up. Why is it not filling up? Input on the bottom, right above the output from the battery. This should be filling up. Oops! I did not mean to do that. What did that do to the storage? Oh good, it remembered. It's probably this block that holds the memory. So I got a little sliver showing up now. So I need to make that to be negative. Hey, look at those numbers up there. That looks surprisingly like max int. This may be as big as the thing can do. But we'll set it to maximum output and put the battery back in place. Negative RF. It just drained. Do I have this going the wrong direction? What? This is set to send. If I break that, there's that negative RF. Rather strange. Oops. Oh! When I'm holding it, it's getting charged. No? I thought it might be getting charged from my jet plate, but it is not. So I don't know why it seems to have a bit of power in it. And why it's going into the battery and not out of the battery. It was seeing spikes, but I think that's just the power that's getting added to it when I'm holding it. I'm at 1%. Alright, well, I'll be right back. Let me figure this out. Interestingly enough, something happened during the... Oh, I'm frozen again. Wow, things are a bit messed up. It's no longer full. This is back to the way it was, and I'm out of sulfurous acid. I think there was a glitch during the reboot. Very strange. So I'm going to have a little bit of a setback here. I did find out, I was messing around before it did reboot, figuring out what was going on with this negative terminal. It just doesn't like to have the capacitors directly on top of it. Which my inventory hasn't changed. There's now 2 floodgates. So I've lost the capacitors. But I do have another drum of sulfurous acid. I have the remainder from the first one. It's very weird. That's definitely an odd issue. It didn't save the way it was supposed to. I guess I'm going to have to go looking at the system and see if we're running out of room or something. Anyway, I put a tesseract directly... I lost the tesseract. I put a tesseract directly on this thing, and it outputs power just fine. So, as long as this is... yeah, things are messed up. I'll be back later on. Well, I'll be back right away for you. Once I get these things fixed, which will probably be tomorrow, if I'm not snowed in. Anyway, see you in a little bit. And here we are again. Yeah, for some reason the overworld did not save. My reactor was back to being passively cooled. It didn't have all this water and steam. But thankfully, inside the compact machine, the turbine was still there. Even it was ready to run. It just didn't have any steam coming to it because this part was gone. So it was only the overworld that seemed to have a problem. Now over here I decided to make some of these cryostabilized flux ducts because I'd never made them before and they look cool. Because they have unlimited passage of power, which means they can go between this thing and the Tesseract, and I never have to worry about them being overloaded. Plus, now I can get to the terminals down at the bottom without them being completely covered by the Tesseracts. So that's a little handy there. Even though the Tesseracts directly attached worked fine. But this works fine too, and this has been filling up. I'm up to 12%. Yeah, it's nowhere near as... Come on, fly. It's nowhere near as... its capacity is nowhere close to what the mechanism storage battery I built in Daybreaker could do. Nowhere even close. Still, it's more than enough for my purposes. And this thing will just always be running and using a tiny bit of... See, now that it's stabilized at 694, we can probably adjust these a bit more. Let's take them to 95 and see if we can maintain our steam. I think it will. Sometimes it's just worth tuning it a little bit. So now that the heat is going to go down, I think if it goes below 600 or 300, I forget which, it will no longer be able to produce 2,000 millibuckets of steam. And because we have the battery, I'm willing to walk away and let it stabilize fully. Because if it does drop a little too low and the turbine stops running at full speed, we'll still have the full output because of the battery. So it's 600. Okay, so it's not 600. I think it's 300 C is where it has to be to produce the 2,000 millibuckets of steam. Anyway, all that well and good. We've got our power situated. That was the main thing I wanted to do. But there was something else I wanted to start, and it involves going back to space. In particular, it means going back to the space station, which, I could take the rocket up there, but the rocket takes a long time. And I've done it, and it's fine. If you notice, I've got an extra transporter over here that's sort of fenced off. This one goes, can we see? Oh, non-base, yeah, it doesn't say here where it goes. What it goes to is the space station. So before I go, I need to get my gear back on. I took it all off for the intro. That. Statue, zombie statue. That, and these. I'll take that too. Alright, put all that on. Take this up with us, because we're going to try something, and hopefully I've got everything I need. Off we go into space. Space. I like space. Space. Alright. Now, what I'm going to do is not the space station itself at first. I'll just start going in this direction for a little bit. My night vision's fading. I was wondering why everything was blinking. Alright. Try to decide how far. This is probably pretty good. Let's try and... Oh, no. Stop about... It's hard to tell when I'm stopped. It's coming towards me, going away from me. Well, let's get out an angel block, and then I can tell. One angel block, I'll take 4, sure. I may need more. Alright, so line up and go pop. Yeah, I'm going this way. Alright. This will be the first stop. Let me lay out a few more blocks because it's going to take some counting and a lot of flying around in 0G. So let me bring you back so we don't run out of time this episode. Oop, go back up. And I will be right back. Well, call me a tease if you must, but If we continue to do this project, this is going to be a 2-hour episode. So instead, you're going to have 2 episodes. We're going to end this one here. The other one will be out soon, if it hasn't already been, by the time you see this. But, yeah, I finished it. I finished recording most of it. And it came out great. It came out great. I can't wait to show you. I can't wait to show you. So, we'll end this one now. Look forward to the next episode. And this is Nonsanity, signing out. Take care, be good, and see you next time.